Hi, I'm Ron with Pacific Permaculture. We're gonna start cultivating a food forest. Check it out. So here's where we're gonna start. Here I have a bag of seeded tangerines and a bag of opal apples. Opal, I believe, is an heirloom variety. Anyhow, I'm gonna eat these down and as we do, get the seeds, do the seed propagation. Okay, so here I have a bunch of seeds. I grubbed my way through a couple apples, and here's the seeds on paper towel. We're going to clean up some jars to put them in and propagate them. Got a couple used jars right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and scrub these out, get some of the funky smell out of here, etc. and clean them out real nice. And then I'm going to sanitize them, probably dump some boiling hot water in there, because water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level, so that should sanitize them real well. We don't want any mold growth in the jar. Okay, so I got two of them. I'm going to do this, and then we'll proceed to the next steps. Okay, so we got the water here. I'm going to go ahead and dump this in our jars. Kind of sterilize, sanitize them off. Okay, so now here we have our apple seed from the opal apple, and I'm going to put them in this paper towel that I wetted with or moistened with some nice filtered water. I'm going to take about half of these and put them in one and half in another. Now, I used to always cold stratify these in the refrigerator, kind of to pretend it went through a winter, but I've also found that some would germinate. An apartment I had just in a jar. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take about half or so and cold stratify them, put them in the fridge. The other half I'm just going to leave in the jar in the room temperature in this room, in this apartment, and we'll see what happens. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. It looks like I have 9 there. Let's even it out a little bit more. I got 6. 7. Okay, something to know also is that with apple seed especially, they don't come true from seed, so you're not necessarily going to get an opal apple or one that you know is going to be some flavorful thing that you like. So some may not produce as flavorful of apples. That's a chance you take. You might find something very nice comes out of it though. So it isn't the exact thing. And if you don't, there's also a group called the Rare Fruit Growers. You can get cuttings, also known as scions. Every year they have a scion exchange. I think it's $4 or $5 to get in. And you can just get loads of different ones to cuttings to graft on and just use this as your rootstock. So anyway, that's, the way it is. So I'm going to mark this with a Sharpie to show what date I did all this. Okay, now here as you can see I wrote apple seed, opal, because it comes from the opal apple, and the date. So in a few weeks or so I'll check and see if anything sprouted out of that seed. And I'll check this one that I'm going to leave on the table, and also the one here that I'm going to put in the fridge, and just see. In general, though, I think it's better to be able to propagate something without as much cold, because as our climate gets warmer, we want to be able to propagate things that'll just sit on the counter and propagate them. We shouldn't have to use energy to propagate things. So it's more of a natural thing. As our climate's warmer, we need to adjust, I think, and propagate the ones more that easily propagate in the room temperature and such. Anyhow, that's my thought on that.